Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here with me. My name is Shauna Mayfield of Theraphase Biofield Tuning and Love Life Give Care. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you something a little different, and I decided I'd get out of my comfort zone and make this video about my next blog post. And this is relating to the moon and this releasing phase. I was really feeling like I wanted to get in touch with anything that was maybe creating drag or static or holding me back. And making these types of videos is definitely something that is a little unsettling for me. But that's what this video is about. I want to encourage you to explore parts of yourself that are holding you back. And so this is in the waning phase of the moon right now. It's a nice time to release and let go and get ready for the next phase. And so what I'm going to do first is read to you the blog post itself and then lead you into a guided journaling experience with tuning forks. With tuning forks. That's what makes this maybe a little unusual, is that I'm a biofield tuning practitioner and an artist, and I love fusing things together. So I've been practicing with using tuning forks while I'm journaling and even while I'm practicing yoga, and all kinds of different things, along with, of course, working with clients. And I want to share it with you. I want to share more of what that can be like and how it might be something that you can use to help your own healing path and journey. Because really, that's what we're all on. Individually, we're all our own little healers. If you have a journal or a sketchbook or something that you use already, go ahead and prepare that beforehand and get some pens and things together, your favorite tools for that. But actually, before we even get into that, I do want to read this to you. And so I hope you are comfortable. Grab yourself a drink of tea or water, because just get comfortable. I know people don't have a lot of attention span these days. I get it, but this is just what it is. If I'm gonna do it, this is gonna be what it is. You'll have to be patient and explore. If it makes you frustrated that people's videos might be slow or whatever, obviously I'm just getting comfortable here, and I'm sharing that with you, and that's okay. All right, this blog post is called Lunar Phase. Lunar Phase Release with Art and Sound. Waning phase, dissolution. Hover, contract into the fulcrum point and expand. With the waning phase of the moon, there is a natural release process before the start of a new cycle. Working in alignment with the lunar phases brings integration of energy and deep insights as one becomes ever more awakened along the path of the solar wheel. With this particular waning moon phase, it is especially vital to clear the deck, so to speak, and this is due to the incoming thrust of wood dragon energy coming in with the Chinese New Year, beginning on the upcoming new moon, February 9th, 2024. So this is going to play out differently for each individual, but the theme is definitely revolutionizing. Dragon energy. 3 words: ambition, brilliance, and leadership. For me personally, I have an affinity to dragons. Lots of people do. My husband is a fire dragon, my son is a metal dragon, and the wise protective energy of dragons has always been an ally. I find them to be not only powerful, at times challenging, but playful, kind, and generous when they're fond of you. They were prominent in my daughter's early development as a writer and artist, around 5 to 12 years old. She created entire worlds and species of dragons, which I've carefully preserved for her to rediscover. Now, the wood element. 3 words: growth, strength, and flexibility. The element of wood is also especially prominent in my family. My husband is a home builder, a wood craftsman. My daughter's middle name is Madera, which means wood in Spanish. And I'm very much allured by trees, druidism, and runes. There's so much to speak to when pondering the element of wood. Last year, I began playing with creating bent wood trellises for plants to climb. The branches needed to be green, meaning they have a lot of water still in them for them to bend and make a beautiful arch. Wooden furniture can be made this way, soaking the wood in water. Of course, wood can be burned to create fire energy, or it can be composted to feed a garden. Wood can be hollowed to create resonant sounding instruments with intricate carvings and inlays of precious stone. Wood has character and reflects a unique tone and expression in its grain, the rings of its life. Wood is the bones of a tree, the produced flowers and fruit. Its vital sap will spark a fire. The energetic qualities of this year are really speaking to me about human potential, master craftsmanship, refinement, ingenuity, and enduring flexibility to withstand greatest storms. So that's the introduction. And then this next portion is going to be about a ceremonial release. Because you are free to create your own ceremonial rites of passage and play. That's what I do. And that's a story by itself that I'll share with you one day. And so here's just one way to process a release phase with the moon. And it's inspired by the science of neurographica art. One of my clients recently shared a video with me about it, and I'm really enjoying this explorative process. I feel like I've been working with my own style of neurographica art for my whole life, so it's not a far reach to get into what this technique is all about. I already practice automatic writing. I've taught myself how to let the less dominant hand draw freely as to communicate with my subconscious mind. I'm not a certified neurographica art teacher yet, but I have enrolled in the basic user certificate course, and that's starting this March. For now, I'm just sharing how the process connects body and subconscious mind into a coherent dialogue. I'm just going to share a little bit of what I've done. I've really just begun this. I have recently looked up some videos. I just have become really intrigued with it and started using it in my journal here. And I'll show you the very first one, the very first one I did. I'll tell you a little bit about what the process is. As that's kind of a somatic experience. You're really wanting to reach within and come into touch with feelings and thoughts, and where these signals are getting kind of locked up in the body. There's so much more to it. I can't really explain it all in one thing, but I'll share with you. It's about letting yourself flow into the process of release, of letting your mind communicate through the pen and page without judgment or inhibition or um, the need to control it. Tricky. All right. So, yeah, I wrote like my very first page on this journal. I have to have 100 journals around me at all times. But this is looking into 2024, and I just started kind of drawing these lines, and then I observed what was happening with the lines and then gave words to different areas. Okay. What is this? Looks like doodling. Whoa. My husband can't even look at this. He's like a very architect mind. Straight lines. So, yeah. I was seeing areas where I felt trapped that need to be released. Lots of looping and confusion, detours, distractions, and ways to escape. Hesitation. And then choices came up. Lots of choices, and then this release. Anyway, and then I found that that there's a center point, this core. I was able to create pathways to release and just you're finding your way through this. I was finding my way through this process of looking into the year and seeing so much uncertainty and control into tiny gridlocks is what I wrote down. This is okay to do. That's what it's about. We work with that. I work with that. And I've been playing around with it just in my daily journaling of words and then the lines that go with it. I'm not really trying to show you everything. This was the most recent one that I did that is a release. Okay, you can't see what all these words are, but I will leave a picture on my post so that you can. But basically, all of these words in here are describing my feelings of anything that was just creating restricting me from being able to make these videos or share myself with the world. So the words in here, I can't even read them anymore because I've dissolved this. But it's relating to self-doubt, insecurities, loneliness, frustration, disgust, sadness, and a little bit of apathy. We all have this spectrum of emotions and feelings that we can reach into. It's part of our human capacity. But the real question is do I want to allow these words to be the driving force? Do they have a position do I want self-doubt making choices? Do I want apathy to be the spark? How are they serving me, my growth and my potential? No, not. So what I did was I created these pathways out of the circle and then contained areas that I felt were very dynamic that represented this nutrient depositing into the root structure. I haven't really figured all this out yet, but it's a reflection, feedback for meditation and for feeling into your body. There's just so much to say about that. This is very somatic. But Okay, so today we're going to do one together, and I want to use tuning forks as I do. And so let's get started. You really want to you can watch me do this now and then do it on your own later, or you can do this with me right now. That's fine. But you do want to clear space in your day to do it for yourself. You want to set up your environment for relaxation. You can use any kind of meditation practice that you like to get yourself into that zone and just bring your attention to focus. It's the most important thing. So find a comfortable position. Well, actually, before that, pour yourself a large glass of refreshing clean water. This is like really important to have proper hydration, especially when you're working with energy, moving energy. And that's really what this is. You may not have associated that before, but these lines, and when you make art and when you write words and speak words, it's all vibration and energy. So it's moving, there's a movement here. And so that's why when you see something that's when you first express something that might be kind of like chaotic, like this one, not done of it, and it's just crazy. But you breathe and come into this relaxed place where you're able to sort it all out in a really fluid, dynamic way of release, bringing it into harmony. Grab your journal or sketchbook. If you don't have one, consider using any material that feels right to you. A sticky note on the back page of a piece of mail will do. Remember that ritual can be simple and practical at one degree, or elaborately cinematic at the other. But there's a balance in there as well. So don't get hung up on the how. I want you to focus more on the quality of your movements and the tone of your intention. So thoughts and feelings will be released onto paper using the most sensory, satisfying stylus wand you can find. In other words, don't just grab a pen or a pencil, but choose your stylus relative to what is rising to release onto the page. Will the soft sketch pencil adequately reflect the darkest shadow or electrical nature of the energy emerging? Does your stylus need a fine point that bleeds a little when you linger? Or does the grain of a broad crayon more appropriately express the innocence of childhood wounds? You see, this all has meaning. Oftentimes I start with a simple Sharpie. Black. Yeah, just offering take consideration in these things when you make those choices. So we're going to start with doing a grounding into presence. And so this is where I'll begin with the tuning forks. And I'll start with introducing these weighted tuning forks, which are the Schumann pair. And so the frequency between these is going to be 7.83 hertz. And that's just the resonant frequency of the earth. And the standing waves between the earth and the ionosphere. And so coming into resonance with that is really kind of puts you in the alpha theta brainwave state. It's just a natural place to let yourself come into. So let's take a deep breath. coming into a quiet, centered place within. So I just want you to notice your breath and notice how your body is positioned. You're just noticing how you are in the moment and asking, what does it feel like to be in your body? So continue with noticing your breath and dropping your awareness and consciousness into your body. And I'm going to bring in an unweighted fork, the 174 hertz fork, and just observe yourself from the inside out, and then from maybe the outside back in. So do a self scan from your head to your toes. From your left hand over to your right hand. This keeps falling out of my ear. So you're sensing how your energy and your vital life force is in this moment. What is the rhythm and quality of your energy right now? Now we're going to connect to the earth. I'll invite you to use your imaginative powers here. So see yourself as a tree with both feet chakras opening and connecting roots unilaterally, while your root chakra, the first chakra, and your earth star, which is simply the negative charged energy center below your feet, are activated, opened, and tap rooted into the core of earth. So you're just allowing this to happen really quite naturally, to come into resonance with the earth. Visualize this innate bioelectrical bond and feel the connectivity between your body and the earth. Allow your brainwaves to naturally come into phase with the resonance of the earth. So Take a few more deep breaths here. Checking in with yourself. Really feeling into what is rising for release. There's a sense of something up and coming, or something submerged that is taking a lot of energy to keep pushed down inside. Where are your thoughts and emotions winding into your body? What lingering residue is sticking around, creating interference, resistance, and tension? I have a lot of nervousness in my body right now, and it's making me want to move. So, as you're sensing into your body, if you feel the need to move around, please do. Shake it out. You can stand up and stretch, move around. I actually might move my feet a little bit to create more space here, more energy flow. Is there something coming up that has been undigested from the past? Is your thinking mind generating a feeling of overwhelm about the future? So just really go deep into those thoughts and feelings and continue exploring where you're noticing this generating tension in your body. Where is it locked up? You can feel that energy source, because we're going to tap into it and allow it to move back into circulation. And what I'm going to do before we actually release with the pen, pencil, stylus, wand is I'll bring in a more of a coarse grit type of frequency. This is 144 hertz. And this is sort of a kind of a dredging up of things. I think our moon's in Scorpio even, so this is good. We want to turn the compost. You need to aerate it. So that's what we're doing when we work with challenging or difficult thoughts and emotions that create whirlpools and eddies that create stagnation and disconnect and inhibit the flow of your creative life. 144 hertz. Take a deep breath, refocus and center, finding those places in your body. Need to refocus on your breath, noticing if you're holding it. Okay, so I want you to grab your stylus wand, your Sharpie, or your device, and sense the power that is rising. And really, you're just going to, for now, imagine what it feels like to allow your body to move these thoughts and emotions without inhibition. So just imagine initially while you're holding that pen. So now we're going to go ahead and prepare for the release. While sensing the power of your stylus wand, imagine what it feels like to allow your body to move these thoughts and emotions without inhibition. Feel this visceral energy of thought and emotion in your body and allow it to flow out and through your stylus wand. Words, lines, pictures, whatever. Stylus to page, just go. Not a hesitation as to what will happen. Let go. The initial release may be awkward, somewhat resistant to this kind of exposure. Continue until you come to a natural sigh of relief. So I'm going to take a moment and do that myself. So for me, what I'm feeling in my body is just some tightness in the mouth and the throat. Sort of the roof of my mouth and the tongue. Okay, yeah, it's a. What is this? Well, it looks like just a squiggly bunch of nothing right now, but it isn't. It's energy. And what I was sensing before this came out was a lot of tightness in here. And while I'm talking to you, I think I'll just bring in the human pair. Everybody can just take a big sigh of relief here. Because really, these emotions and thoughts, the energy wants to be used and in circulation. And if you are stuck in a pattern of stifling self-doubt, then we want to get that out and processed in a way that is reflecting back that the polarity of that. And so if it's self-doubt, then what is it? What's the opposite of that? It's this absolute trust in the self. And so when we have this initial expression that comes out onto the page, we're going to take it and modulate it into an expression that is reflecting the polarity that we're trying to harmonize it to. So in the case of self-doubt or fear, we would then bring in courage. So from here, you're going to take a moment to just simply observe your expression without judgment, without criticism. You want to see where the energy lines are getting tangled up, where it feels tight and sharp. And then see where that energy might want to flow to create a balance in this expression. And so my example here, you can see there's quite a bit of an entanglement happening in here, where there's a bit of a twisting and sharp points and some crossing over and looping. And so we're going to be working with opening this up here to release. There's no. Now, neurographica art has sort of a very, very specific technique. That's not what I'm going to teach you. But you can play with this in your own way, in ways that are kind of similar. And I'll demonstrate what that might look like. And yes, it is a kind of like the neurographica style where you would be rounding corners. But essentially, I'll show you. I'm going to isolate this entanglement into a circle. And it just turned into a bunch of circles, and that's okay. So now we have contained this frustration here. What is that? Insecurity, this looping back. When you have self-doubt and insecurities, it's like a recoiling. I don't know. It creates a lot of hesitation and inwinding. And so what I want to do is create pathways for this entanglement to be exposed. And I might even use a different color to do that. And you're going to follow along looking at your drawing in that same kind of way, seeing what's happening here. Now, for me to be able to do this on the spot with you is a little more difficult because I'm not able to take the time to sit here, and because what it would take for me, what it takes is looking at it, staying centered in that zone, really finding kind of the defining the language of this a little more. I am seeing a space in here that is a tiny square. Tiny square inside. Where'd it go? I can see it. Tiny square right here. So this tiny node right here is what I'm focusing on as the original wound. Something happened, childhood or whatnot, that created this tight, protected, tiny space to keep myself in. Because this tiny square is manageable. But it is a square. And it's very small. And it's very disconnected from all of this dynamic. I love that word. I say it a lot. All this fluidity happening out here. Bigger, wider turns. You can start seeing shapes and things in here. But okay. Well, let's move on. And I will bring in another tone here. Let's bring in something a little lighter. We're working with 144, and now I think it's time to elevate things a bit. And this is 222 hertz, and really kind of a fork of just being with what is, being at peace with what is. So just continue with your deep sensory awareness into your own body, allowing the sound to come in to your biofield and body. We're now coming into this resolution zone. So from here, we're creating pathways to release tension in your expression. And you do this with mindful fluidity and deep breathing. My cat really loves the tuning forks. I apologize if that's frustrating. Just focus in on what you're doing and the connection between your hand and the pen and your body. That's key. If you become frustrated, allow that to be seen in your expression and then create resolution. All right, everybody. Take as much time as you need to fulfill the process to completion. You'll know that the process is complete when you feel that sense of relief in your body. You've become more relaxed. Your nervous system is more calm. I feel more relaxed, even just, I don't know, I didn't really do anything yet. But, that's the whole point, really. And this is such a creative tool to use in so many different ways for many different things, not just releasing emotions and thoughts, but also creating and generating, manifesting and focusing. So you're going to be unwinding distortions of past and future into the present moment when you do this type of work. You're removing limitations and releasing resistance where necessary, because sometimes resistance is good. You're gonna, in your drawings even, you're gonna define the core. You're gonna define the core of your values and truth. This is your temple, the remaining foundation, and you'll see that in the reflected in your drawing. Create a foundation, and this is like your legacy. And so I'm going to do some more drawing with the fork, and you can do the same. Take your time. And so with that tight little node in the center, I'm turning that square to a circle, that tiny square, and I'm relieving, giving it exit points to come out and away from that node and be integrated in with the rest of this expression. Remember to take deep breaths as needed, drinking your water as needed. You'll come to a place where this starts to feel more relaxing as these entanglements are smoothed out and more pathways of release have been created. Let's bring in something new. And the 417 hertz. You'll see the node now has some exits. This might look, it might look like really messy at first and just almost hard to look at even. And it's important to stay with it and see if you can find a way that these lines can move with ease and without getting hung up and disconnected from the whole piece of what's happening. Is your pen wanting to give up? Do you want to just stop this process? Is this annoying? That's what's coming up. If that's what you're feeling, that's what's coming up. It's like, we have maybe parts of our homes that don't get cleaned as often. Maybe we avoid going there. So just notice if you're avoiding going there in your drawing. So problems and challenges are important. That helps us grow. And we don't quit in the middle of that process and abandon ourselves. But we continue to create beauty, harmony, and coherence in ourselves, in our worlds. And so this process is training you how to come into that place from tight entanglement to relaxed fluidity. The rising and the falling of emotions and thoughts, but always having that centered core value. And so wherever I'm seeing these tight nodes inside this circle that I've isolated, I'm just releasing it off the page all the way out. Everything's moving forward. along the line of the path. You know, if you're tracing over lines or wherever your pen is going, we want to try to not do this movement, because energetically, what does this feel like? Not going anywhere. We want to move through the entanglements like this. Just so I'll create some more pathways out here, some more circles and more pathways out. If you're doing this by yourself, it's nice to just put on some music that helps you stay focused in the moment of doing this process, to help it be more relaxing for you. And then again, maybe the sound of these tuning forks is helping you to come into that place. Here's a little look at what things are starting to look like. These are the isolated square knot nodes that I have created into a circle and then allowed them to exit this larger circle by creating pathways. Okay. So now I'll bring in a nice 528 hertz. I'm not going to finish this with you today because this is really just an introduction to show you how you can do a ceremonial release with art. I mean, I like to use tuning forks, but you can use other sounding instruments or music or silence, or listen to the rain, put on some sounds of nature. When you feel complete in this release, I'll go over some different ways you might deal with that expression. This I really encourage you to go online and look up neurographica art and watch some of the videos from the certified instructors, which is what I did. And you'll learn some basic techniques of how to do these types of drawings, how to round the corners, and how to make neurographic lines. It's a lot of different ways you can take this type of work. And I'm excited to dive into it. It's new to me, and I'm really considering taking the certification courses. because I think biofield tuning is very compatible with this, because it's helping to come into the body and sense what that is more deeply. I think many people are disconnected from their bodies because of the maybe pain or trauma or so many other ways we become disassociated from living in the body. So I want to share more with you, and this is just the first of what is to come. Biofield tuning and this type of therapy is helping me to release any inhibitions, self-doubt, and anything that is wanting to hold me back from sharing the stuff that I like to talk about and share. So back to what to do with this expression. You can leave it in your journal as it is if you want to. You can take it out of your journal and you can light it on fire and burn it and release it that way. Just disintegrate it. You can bury it into the earth if you want and allow the earth, microbes in the soil to be fed with this and feed into the ground. Or you can float it in a large body of water, a river, the ocean. You can submerge it under a rock in a creek, just imagining that cool, refreshing flow of water, just slowly eroding all of that tension. It's just another way to do it. You can tear it up into little pieces and scatter it to the wind. You know, anything is possible with your imaginative powers. And so the point is release and feel the levity of embodiment while resting in the fulcrum point. And so I thank you so much for joining me on this little mini art and sound workshop. I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. It's very young and very new. I could use some support. Subscribe to my website newsletter where I post regular blog, informative stuff about biofield tuning and all sorts of things. And what else did I want to say? Yeah, if you are curious about receiving a biofield tuning session, please do look at my website, theraphasebioFieldTuning.com, and I specialize in remote sessions. It's phenomenal work. It's changing me, and I would love to share it with you. So reach out, and you guys just be well. Take care of your biofield. Yeah, be well. May you create thriving universes from the inside out. I'll leave you with this Fibonacci sequence tones. And actually, lastly,